This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist CJ Cartledge.
And good morning, everyone. I'm First Alert meteorologist CJ Cartledge here on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown for today. I hope you guys have had a great start to your Tuesday. We have a lot to talk about here on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown here. We got strong to severe storms that are possible through this afternoon and into this evening and also into tomorrow as well. I noticed that I'm a little bit loud out there, so turn my levels down a little bit. Sorry, I was just running around right before the episode started here, but we're going to be diving into the details of what we can expect through the rest of today and into tomorrow here with these strong and severe storms that will be possible. And then I will be opening up the floor to answer any questions that you guys may have. We're also streaming live here on Facebook as well as on YouTube here. So I'm going to be checking the chat to see if there's any questions out there that you may have about the strong and severe storms that we can expect throughout this afternoon and into this evening and spilling over into tomorrow as well. So let's dive into a live look outside through our KSLA Tower camera sponsored by Mattress Plus. And also sorry about the late start for today. We had some technical difficulties that we had to take care of before we hopped on stream. But as you can see, it's a pretty cloudy start to the day. As you can see there through our sky camera, we're expecting cloudy conditions through the rest of today outside of the possible storms that are expected here throughout the afternoon and into the evening for some areas here around the ArkLaTex. Here's a live look at First Alert Doppler radar. We are seeing some light to moderate rain showers moving in from the south and west and affecting many areas around the I-30 corridor and northward here, as you can see. Nothing is severe as of right now, as you can see by the First Alert Doppler radars, and no yellow or no red polygons, thankfully. And hopefully that stays the same as we move through the rest of today and into tonight and also into tomorrow. But I can see some severe storms happening. They are definitely possible as we move through the next couple of days ahead. And actually, starting at noon today, during the noon show, the KSLA First Alert Weather Day will be implemented into the newscast. So we'll be under a KSLA First Alert Weather Day and throughout the rest of today and into tomorrow, starting at noon, which is 12 p.m. today here. Here's a look at temperatures right now across the ArkLaTex. We're mainly sitting in the 70s across the region, around 72 near Shreveport, 75 for Mansfield, 74 by Natchitoches, 74 also for Bienville, 70 on the dot right by Idabel and DeQueen. And we're sitting at 73 degrees up by Texarkana as of right now. Looking at the rain chances through the next 48 hours or so, we can expect these rain chances to remain slim here near Shreveport and Bossier. They may even drop down to zero heading towards the evening hours for tonight here. But many areas north of I-20 will see the higher rain chances for today and into tonight. But as we move into Wednesday, widespread showers and storms are expected heading throughout the daytime hours and more than likely by the afternoon hours, starting at around 12 p.m. for our Wednesday there, before rain chances diminish entirely as we move into the evening hours. Actually, I'm going to move that off the screen. I was trying to put this on the screen, which is eliminating my face off of the screen there. But rain chances are expected to be slim to none starting on Thursday, and that lasts through the rest of the work week as well. Here's a live look at Future Track. Not a live look, but here's a look at Future Track on what we can expect through the rest of today. This model showing a little bit more similar conditions as compared to what's going on right now across the ArkLaTex as compared to the other models. We are expecting these light to moderate rain showers to continue as we move through the midday and afternoon hours for the most part here. But as we move towards the evening hours, we could see some stronger storms move into areas between I-20 and I-30 there, and for some even north of I-30 as well. Mainly in areas around and north of I-20, we'll see the higher rain chances as mentioned before. But if you're around I-20 and northward, you'll definitely want to keep the umbrella handy through the rest of today. And even for areas south of I-20, you guys will see slight rain chances as well due to isolated showers. But as we move into the closer towards the midnight hour here, we could see even some stronger storms as we move into areas north of I-30 there. They may be eclipsing portions of Red River County and McCurtain County up in northeastern Texas and southeastern Oklahoma. but we should start to see less severe storms or just stronger to moderate storms as we move towards the early morning hours for our Wednesday, where there's still a risk for severe weather, just at a lower chance due to cooler temperatures out there and just cooler conditions and less conducive conditions out there. We may see a mess of storms around the ArkLaTex as this low pressure system pretty much stalls within the ArkLaTex throughout the morning hours. But as we move towards the afternoon and evening for our Wednesday, starting in the afternoon actually, we should start to see a line of strong to severe storms develop along the I-30 corridor and slowly make its way southward across the region, reaching areas like around the I-20 corridor by the time we hit around lunchtime, I would say. Some of those stronger storms getting to the Shreveport-Bossier area by around 1 to 2 p.m. and maybe even as late as 3 p.m. And we should start to see those stronger storms make their way down to the south and eastern portions of the ArkLaTex heading towards the evening hours. And most of that stronger line looks to finally leave the ArkLaTex through the evening hours as well. And still some light to moderate rainfall as we head towards the midnight hour, but drier conditions ensue as we move into the early morning hours for our Thursday coming up here. Here's a severe risk for our Tuesday, which is today throughout this afternoon and into this evening. There's a slight risk for severe weather for many areas around the I-30 corridor and northward. It extends as far as a line ranging from Longview all the way into Magnolia here. There's a very thin line of a marginal risk for severe weather. If we zoom into that, actually, Shreveport won't be in any types of risk for severe weather this afternoon, but the chance is still there. They're on the very edge of that marginal risk, so I wouldn't rule out I definitely wouldn't rule out an isolated shower or storm that could turn maybe severe at times, some gusty winds and maybe some hail, some brief hail. But the chance for tornadoes is also on the table here, which I will talk about in just a second. Here's the individual risks that we are looking at in terms of what we can expect for today and tonight here. There is a slightly higher chance for tornadoes or brief spin-ups for the area shaded in the brown color. That's the 5% risk. But the green color is the 2% risk. But what you see there, the little black lines that you see there on the screen, that's a hatch risk. That means that we could see tornadoes and in terms of intensity as high as EF2. And that's exactly what we saw on early Saturday morning here. There was only a 2% risk for tornadoes out there for those portions that actually saw tornadoes, and only 2% risk, but it was hatched. The risk zone was hatched, and we saw a tornado, or two tornadoes actually, that reached their full potential of being an EF2 tornado here, with winds, one of them with winds up to 125 miles per hour and the other being up to 115 miles per hour. The one in Marion County, Texas reached peak winds of 115 miles per hour, and the one in Willisville by Nevada County, that reached 125 miles per hour in terms of its peak winds here. So we could definitely see some strong tornadoes as possible, mainly due to that hatch risk there, and the chances are a bit higher for those in the brown zone as compared to the green zone. And as mentioned before, Shreveport-Bossier, not any of these zones here, so tornadoes are not likely for those that are south of or south and east of that green zone and that brown zone that you see there, or south and east in the green zone for that matter. Tornadoes are not likely, but we can still see other threats like damaging winds as well as large hail is possible. There's a 15% risk for damaging winds out there for the areas shaded in the yellow color, and in the brown color there is a 5% chance for damaging winds. And for large hail, that's also possible for areas ranging from Magnolia to Longview, and areas around I-30 and northward will have the higher chance for seeing large hail. But as you can see off to our west, they will have the higher chance of seeing all of these threats here, large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes for this afternoon and into this evening. So yes, they will definitely be under the gun in terms of severe weather for today. Just to give you guys a bit of a simpler look here, if you did not understand that much with the graphic that I just showed here, there's an elevated chance for tornadoes, large hail, and strong winds. The flash flooding, there is a risk for flash flooding. It's only a marginal risk for areas around I-30 and northward, so they will receive the bulk of the rainfall through the rest of today and into tonight as well. But as we move into tomorrow here, here's tomorrow's severe risk, and it shows that there's a slight risk for severe weather for areas around I-30 and southward here. Longview, Marshall, Ruston, Natchitoches, Texarkana, all under the gun in terms of the higher chance of severe weather. Not much of a high chance, a slightly lower chance for those north of I-30 I-30, as you can see by the green shaded region there. But for Wednesday, there's a low chance for large hail, elevated chance for tornadoes, strong winds, and flash flooding, all on the table for this system here. Here's a flash flooding risk for today, and it shows that areas around I-30 and northward will be under the marginal risk for flash flooding. And as we move into tomorrow, where most of us will be under the gun in terms of flooding risks here, many areas south of I-30 and around the I-30 corridor will have the higher chance of seeing flash flooding concerns. But starting on Thursday through the rest of the work week and into the weekend, we're not expecting much of a risk for flash flooding or any rainfall at all here. But here's the rainfall potential associated with these this system that will be rolling through the ArkLaTex today and into tomorrow here. And it shows that through the next 7 days, or at least through this system here, we could receive some areas upwards of 3 inches of rainfall alone from this system through today and into tomorrow by northeastern Texas, south of Mount Pleasant, north of Longview, and some areas getting upwards of around or at least 2 inches of rainfall by Shreveport, Ruston, as well as near DeSoto Parish and Red River Parish as well. Many areas by Natchitoches may receive 1 to 1.5 inches of rain, but all of us will receive beneficial rainfall at least from this system here. So that we are very thankful for that, mainly because of the drought conditions that we are under. Many of us are dealing with severe drought as of right now, and others dealing with extreme drought, which is shown in the red color above here. But we are expecting drier weather that's on the way through the next 6 to 10 days and through the next 8 to 14 days as well. March, this is a little bit outdated. This was made from yesterday, but from March 16th through the 20th, we're expecting drier than average conditions, and through the next 8 to 14 days afterwards, which is the 18th to the 24th, we can expect drier than average conditions here around the ArkLaTex. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. We are expecting our first alert weather day to go into effect starting at noon here, mainly due to strong to severe storms around the ArkLaTex. But we are expecting cooler conditions by tomorrow, and even cooler conditions after that cold front moves through on our Wednesday night here. This should wipe away all the rain chances that we have, at least through the rest of the work week. We could see a slight chance for rain heading into our Sunday, which may or may not be able to see the temperature there on that day. But temperatures will rise back into the lower 80s by the weekend, and we should see a more extensive cool down as we move into the beginning of next week. Now I'm going to open the floor for any questions that you all may have. Okay, so I'm checking the chat right now. There's nothing in the YouTube chat, but I see a lot in the Facebook chat. Do we expect rain in Wascom around 7 p.m. baseball game starting in town starting at 7? So around 7 p.m., most of us will be seeing rainfall out there, Tristan, just to answer your question. But most of the rainfall should be most of the heavier rainfall should be out of the ArkLaTex by that time frame. I won't rule out maybe an isolated shower or two still hitting the area, but most of the stronger storms should be out of the region. You may have some concerns about the wetness of the baseball field, so just be wary of that and make sure to stay weather aware. I believe you still see a couple of isolated showers or storms, but that storm threat should have diminished for the most part for those in East Texas by around 7 p.m. Is there a way to show CAPE? Is there a way you can show CAPE? Don't believe there's a way that we can show CAPE here on one of the graphics that I do want to show you all. I would have to do some digging for that, make a whole new graphic for that. So my apologies on that. We could just talk about the storm potential. How's Marshall looking for today? They're under a marginal risk, I believe, for severe weather. If not a slight risk, if not right on the border of both. So severe weather is possible for those near Marshall, and especially for those in northeastern Texas. I'm going to show the severe risk once more. So as you can see, Marshall's literally right on the line. As I was just saying there, Marshall's right on the line of that marginal and slight risk for severe weather. So storms are possible for those areas, and severe weather is also possible. You can expect the chance for damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes as we move through the day today and into tonight as well. As we move into tomorrow, that risk grows a little bit higher for those near Marshall. So definitely make sure to stay weather aware. I will be on the newscast for KSLA News 12 at noon as well as 4 p.m. And you can catch meteorologist Jake Lambright. And I may be here helping him out if there's any other warnings or things may get crazy a little bit in terms of the warnings. As we move into this evening, meteorologist Jake Lambright will be on at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. on the newscast. That appears to be all the questions here, if I'm not mistaken. No problem for answering all of your questions. But yes, here's this individual severe risk, just to show you guys once again the threats for today, just for tornado risk, large hail risk, damaging wind risk, as well as the flooding risk. This is actually for not the late afternoon and evening. This is for the afternoon and evening. So let's change that back to a more accurate thing there. So, and boom, we're back in business. This afternoon and evening, the tornado risk is hatched, which is what the black lines that you see there on the screen. That means that tornadoes that spawn could reach up to EF2 strength. So EF2 strength, if I have to look that back up here, I believe that's winds between, it's winds over 100 miles per hour. I know that for sure. EF2 tornado strength. 111 to 135 miles per hour in terms of tornadoes. And according to Google, a tornado that can rip off roofs of many houses, demolish mobile homes, and push over fully loaded trucks or railroad boxcars. And it says even light debris can become deadly wind-driven missiles. So that's not to scare you guys. That's to prepare you all. This does not mean that EF2 tornadoes will spawn. It does not mean that it's for sure to spawn. This is just to let you know that tornadoes that may spawn can reach that level. And with the last couple of tornadoes that have been confirmed in the last system this past Saturday, the EF2 tornadoes did spawn, and they were hatched risks, only around 2% of forming. So this is not to scare you. This is to prepare you for what may be on the way. We could see some brief spin-ups that won't even touch the ground, and that means that we can range from something like a brief spin-up to an EF2 tornado. Thankfully, it's nothing worse than that. If we saw higher risk or a different type of shading there, then it would be a higher risk for that. I believe there are higher risks potentially for that, higher risk or higher intensity tornadoes over there in central Texas for today. But thankfully, that's nothing that we would have to worry about in terms of higher than EF2 potentially. Somebody asks, how bad and when will it hit Bossier and Webster Parish, CJ? What about the Ashdown area, Arkansas area for today? So to answer the first question, how bad and when will it hit Bossier and Webster Parish? In terms of today, we have slight chances of seeing any types of storms for today. So make sure to just be prepared just in case. From what Future Track is picking up on, most of these systems, I'm going to go back to live first alert Doppler radar just to show you guys and just so I can draw on the screen and show you all what's going on and what may happen with these storms. From what I've been seeing with the models, most of the storms are expected to form within this zone for the afternoon. I can see a stronger batch of storms forming within that zone, and it could form and move as north as those areas north of I-30 as well. So just to give you guys a little bit more of a clearer picture and not show two different circles there. The ones that will have the higher rain chances for today will be areas along I-20 and northward, exactly where that severe risk pretty much outlines. I'm going to put that on the screen actually. Exactly where that severe risk outlines, and I'm going to put the radar picture over it. Most of the rain chances will be in the green or the yellow zones for today, but that doesn't mean that areas south of the I-20 corridor may not receive rain. Those that are in these areas over here, that ones that I'm pointing over here in the gray color that are not under severe risk, it's still possible that you guys can still see some rainfall through the rest of today and into tonight. But in terms of severity, it looks to be much lower as compared to those in the yellow zone or those in the green zone that you see there on the screen. So definitely make sure to stay weather aware, especially if you're on the green or have a severe risk for today. It's definitely imperative to do so. And I could see a stronger batch of storms potentially reaching into areas between I-20 and I-30 late this afternoon and into this evening. But for the Ashdown area, more than likely going to see those storms possibly by around 9 or 10 p.m. later tonight. It was when it will cross over that line and reach into southwestern Arkansas. But I could see a stronger batch of storms moving either along I-30 or just south of I-30 here from what Future Track has been picking up on. And that's for the later afternoon hours, I would say. For now, we're dealing with the light to moderate rain showers, though, for areas near Texarkana and northward. Let's take a quick look at Texarkana camera just to show you guys the rainfall that may be going on out there. That it doesn't look like it as of right now, but just receiving intervals of rainfall at the very moment. Hope it answered everyone's questions. Carthage, Texas. Same thing for areas by Marshall, I would say. Where's my... Okay. Where's my Mac system? I'm going to hop off in just a little bit here just so I can get ready for the newscast that starts at noon. And that will be the start of the KSLA First Alert Weather Day as well. For the Carthage area, I believe you guys are just outside of that risk. You guys are in southeastern Texas, as you can see there, just outside of it. Same thing with Shreveport, Bossier. Storms are possible, but the severity seems to be low for you all. And their severity appears to be higher as we move into tomorrow. For those that are south and east of this yellow and the southeast of the green color. If you're not highlighted under the green or the yellow colors there, tomorrow will be your concern. Tonight, not so much. Or today and tonight, not so much. But if you're south and east of the severe risk, which is highlighted in the green or the yellow, south and east of there, and I'm pointing out for you all, you guys won't have much to worry about outside of a couple of storms that may be strong at times, but nothing is expected to be severe up over in this zone over here. For those in the green zone and for the yellow zone, you guys will have the higher chance of seeing severe weather today. And most areas around and south of I-30 will have the higher chance of seeing severe weather tomorrow. And that's everywhere around and south of I-30. Within the ArkLaTex, of course. But yes, I'm going to hop off of this stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this stream for today. I hope you guys got a valuable information or feel like you got valuable information. I'll be on at KSLA News 12 at noon, as well as on the 4 p.m. show today. And meteorologist Jake Lambright will be on at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. on KSLA News 12. Make sure to please stay weather aware, especially if you're in areas in the northwestern half of the ArkLaTex, around I-20 in East Texas and northward, especially areas around I-30. You guys will have the higher chance of seeing severe weather for this afternoon and into this evening. Make sure to stay weather aware once again, and I will see you later on the show.